What's going on, guys, and welcome back. Hope you're surviving the nerf apocalypse we just went through. Today, we're going to talk all about the newest season pass cards, Sebastian Shaw, and ultimately, hopefully, answer the question for you, is he worth buying with a little bit of your extra holiday money to get the December season pass? We're going to cover his best decks, his combos and synergies, and of course, his roll and snap. And we start with the man himself, Sebastian Shaw. He's a 3-cost, 4-power card, gaining +2 additional power every time he himself gains permanent power. Now, before we dive too deep here into Sebastian Shaw, let's start out with the question a lot of you guys are stewing on, going back and forth, and he's a tricky one at that. Is he worth it? Should you buy the season pass for Sebastian Shaw? And ultimately, is he going to give you FOMO if you miss out on him? Could he get great and maybe you're going to miss him? Let's answer that. Now, first of all, I could sit here and say the season pass has great value. If you spend money in Snap, buy this US president. However, we're not talking about that. More about him as a card. If you buy the pass and you get the pass, go ahead and get it. But for Shaw himself, it's pretty easy at the moment. If you play Silver Surfer, buy the card. He's great. He's not making the deck a little better. He is making it much better. And I think Surfer is really cool with flexibility and what it can do. And so for that reason, he slaps. He's great in combos with Silver Surfer, and he could get better in the future because of that. But at this very moment, we don't have a lot of cards that work well with him and other decks. So he's very narrow and niche, like even more so than a card like Dawkin. And when you compare him to Miss Marvel, Loki, and some of the other season pass cards that have been major hits, Shaw is going to land a little bit flat as far as where he can be played within the game currently. Now, his stats are really good. He can do some crazy things within the game. So ultimately, like, you're not missing out all too much. I think he's like about a 4-star, maybe 4.5 in Surfer, and then he kind of drops down to like a 3-ish, right? If you look at his stat line, it's tough to build him up. You do have to get the right cards. You know, obviously things like Forge and Nico Minaru, and we're going to talk about them today. There's some great boosting cards. But until we get something like Firestar and more in the future that can boost him up, he's just narrow. So if you plan on playing Surfer, go for it. Surfer is extremely flexible, and there's so many different great ways to tech. And it's an archetype that has been and will be good for a long time. All the tech cards are 3-cost cards. So you do have that going for you. But if you don't play Surfer, I think it's an easier decision to pass on Shaw. Now, that being said, you guessed it, today's deck, Surfing Shaw, is actually really good, though, and we're going to break down everything you need to know about it. Today's deck is an absolute home run hit when combining win conditions, and putting together Patriot and Sebastian Shaw is a true wombo combo double threat. Now, there are other good Surfer decks kind of going around. I just did a giant guide on one. You know, Werewolf by Night's fantastic. You know, you've seen the Surfer decks by now if you've been playing Snap, and if you haven't, go check out some of my other decks that I just put out. Throw in Sebastian there. But today is more about Patriot Surfer, which we haven't covered that much in a long while on the channel, ever since we had a little bit of a nerf to Absorbing Man. You see, when you typically play Silver Surfer, Patriot has not really been involved. It's kind of been out of the meta for a little bit, especially within the Silver Surfer decks. But today, you've got 2 cards, him and Shaw, that are both feasting with the boostable power, and they both want to play things like Brood. Mr. Sinister fits well, Forge fits well, and all this stuff is going to combo together to make a really damn good, dependable deck. Now, as far as Surfing Shaw goes, this is going to be the main core build of the deck with the flexible cards noted as such. And with it, we've got the combos that you can rely on. We have Forge into Brood, we have Absorbing Man to follow that, and then, of course, Iron Lad to hit off the Brood, to hit off Iron Man, and even Sebastian Shaw for some big, dependable power. Now, before we get too much into the deck tech and how it works, let's go ahead and talk about these flexible options, the cards that synergize extremely well with Shaw and within Patriot or just Surfer decks in general. Now, when it comes to Shaw's synergy, I've divided it into a couple of graphics, not just for today's deck, but in general with the card. Now, we start with the MVPs, and these are going to be the easiest ways and most natural to get Shaw boosted up. Obviously, Forge is a tremendous 1-cost card that you can easily get Shaw to just silly numbers. We have Nova and Killmonger together. You don't have to do much. You're getting a huge trade-off value with Killmonger, getting rid of the opponent's 1-cost cards on top of easily boosting up Shaw with Nova. And then ultimately Silver Surfer. But then we go to other powerful cards. These are maybe a little bit worse, but overall consistent and can get Shaw to pretty good power potential. We've got Okoye and Nakia, the two Wakandans that are almost used in virtually no deck, finally feel pretty damn good. If you get Okoye out on curve on turn 2, she can get Shaw up with an easy 3 power, and Nakia is not all that great, but within a Patriot or even Surfer build, you're getting up the Brood, you're getting up Sinister and Shaw all together for, again, a pretty big bang for buck. Now, Wong is definitely a fun one. He's greedy. If you enjoy this, I think use him. He's crazy when it comes to Shaw because, I mean, ultimately, you can just win if they have no way to answer the Wong. Playing stuff like Ironheart to boost up Shaw on top of Wong or the Silver Surfer and get him to just probably his best power potential. Wong is either for you or not, but I played a few games with it, and it was a freaking blast. Now, Elsa was going to be a lot better with him, but ever since the nerf, she's not insane, but she does work with him. And then, of course, Absorbing Man, like we talked about before. Now, it's going to take, like, a long time to get used to me looking at this as a 2-cost card. I can barely register America Chavez, but this is another card that works with Shaw. Obviously, if it's the top deck, it's not bad. But Brood getting this power in today's deck, if you play her Iron Man, other cards are fine to get the nice boost. And then you have cards that can work with Shaw. Phoenix Force, Shuri is fine as well. And then, of course, Mirage. Now, I did try Shaw in Mr. Negative, and I'm going to be honest, it works. That's a video for another day. I thought that was a freaking blast. Really good at the moment. But the main thing I want to end on before we go into the deck tech a little more is going to be Shadow King, guys. This is the biggest problem right now with Sebastian Shaw, is this card is running wild. It's so damn good even after the nerf. Luke Cage has exited the meta, making him even more prevalent, and he can just shut down your entire deck, right? You're trying to win one full lane with Shaw, and you're depending on that, and there's no way to get out of that lane, and he can just answer it like that. So that's the biggest problem with it as a counter. But let's go ahead and talk about what you want to do on a turn-by-turn basis. Now, in today's deck, typically, you want to do not all that much on turn 1. Now, Forge is always going to be your only card that you can typically play here, unless you do go with maybe a Nova or Killmonger. But most of the time, you probably want to save that because Okoye and or Mr. Sinister are both good to play on turn 2. You can Forge into Mr. Sinister, not a bad play at all. But you certainly don't want to Forge into Okoye. You want to save him for bigger and better purpose. Okoye should always be your play on turn 2, no matter what, most of the time. With Chavez, if you flex her into the deck as a nice second option. Now, if Shaw is in your hand, then of course, Okoye loses a little bit of her bite, but still not a bad option with other cards like Brood. Now, in turn 3, this is typically the hardest option. You don't always want to play Shaw here. In fact, I tend to play him a little bit on the later side. You're going to want to play either Brood into Absorbing Man. You can play Nakia if you do have Shaw and Brood in hand, or just one of the two. Certainly, Patriot is a play if he's your only option. Now, turn 4 is always like the big explosive turn. I love playing Forge followed by Shaw, or Forge into Brood. If you didn't do Brood into Absorbing Man, this is definitely the play line you want to go with. Negasonic can really be played on any turn. This deck has a pretty good time getting priority. She is your flex card here, but certainly I love her in the deck. I think you can get up pretty high because of all the cards that you can spread out with Sinister, Brood, and Absorbing Man. So playing down Negasonic on turn 5 is a great staple way to ensure that you're going to win a lane. But for whatever reason, if you're just having really bad hand draw, Iron Lad is just always a good card to play. The cards you're looking to get the biggest bang for with Iron Lad is Mr. Sinister, Brood. But honestly, obviously, Sebastian is a fantastic option. Patriot's always good. Silver Surfer's not a bad play. And then the ultimate jackpot, which is Iron Man. Now, if you've done a lot of crazy things up to turn 5, you've done a Brood into Absorbing Man, or maybe you have Shaw with Forge out there and maybe even a Brood on the board, Iron Man by himself on turn 5 is fantastic. Now, obviously, we're missing Sarah here, so turn 6 is usually almost always 2 3-cost cards. I love to play Negasonic and Surfer together on turn 6 if I have everything else out on the board. Surfer and Patriot together is a great way to finish off and just win the game. And then, of course, you can play Forge and Iron Man as another combo. Most of the time, you can do things like Patriot and Brood, or, Brood and Surfer. there's all these flex cards as well, so feel free to use other 3-cost cards here. But you'll notice the play lines, the curve lines, there's kind of always something to do with the deck, which is making it excel extremely compared to some of the other Surfer decks out there, which a lot of people are going to assume that you're playing. Which then takes me to, if you want to play another style of Surfer deck, these are doing really good. Again, I didn't cover these decks in a guide to focus on it because I just did a Surfer guide. However, the Werewolf by Night combined with Brood is proving to be a really good Surfer deck. Having an either-or scenario is pretty advantageous. Or you can go ahead and kick the tires on a similar deck as well. This one utilizes Absorbing Man. All 3 decks are great. Patriot is one that I don't think a lot of people expect. I wanted to make sure I provided you guys with a couple of the other decks just in case you wanted to see the new optimized Surfer build. And that's pretty much it, guys. I think Surfer is best when you throw in your own flavor and the opponent doesn't know what is going on. If you're playing the same Surfer build everybody is, they're going to probably know your finishing combos. And so the Patriot one plays a little bit differently than the most common ones there at the moment. Again, if you want to know those decks, go check out the other guide that I've done on it. Just did a Surfer guide. Throw in Shaw, and those decks are going to do just as good, even better at the moment. Let's go ahead and hop into the matches. All right, we have I'm Watching You and Outside Your House. Okay, I love that. Let's see, we've got the closing down of turn 4. Let's play that now. I think that's fine. Because if we do get a Courier, typically I don't play Forge all the time on turn 1, most of the time. But we can play into that and just use that extra power. But we don't even get a 2-drop, so we're looking good there.
Opponent snapped.
He's snapping, which is, I think, fine. Warrior Falls doesn't help us out too much, but we'll kick back for a second. All right, so he's playing the Phoenix Force deck, so left side isn't as useful. Sucks, he hates that location, I get it. Let's go ahead and play down Shaw now, and we can play him on left side. He's going to Phoenix Force. We can just predict it with Negasonic, that's fine. Yeah, let's go Lad here. We don't need a Lad left side, I'm not too worried about that. Oh, nice, he gets the Hulkbuster out. And then he Venoms here. So here's the cool thing, guys. The great thing about this is Negasonic is going to just straight up win us the game. Next turn is going to be Phoenix Force 100%, and we have priority. There's no way he plays Phoenix Force in the middle. Maybe he does, but I would be shocked if that's the case. And then Negasonic just wins us the game. And then if he doesn't play it, then, you know, we're looking pretty good there too. But let's see if we read him and just end it right here. I'm watching you. If he's watching us outside the house, we're screwed. Let's see. He gives a fist bump. Love to see it. Kill that. Oh, no, it merged. No, it's good. Okay, I got a little worried for a second. I was like, wait, it's a new card. Let's go and give him the fist bump. Actually, we'll do that. We'll do the Cosmo. I got the new Cosmo sunglasses. All right. Brood here. These will all die, though, together. If we were to do that there, so we can't. And he's out. So we snapped at the perfect time. And Phoenix Force deck, very good right now. But Negasonic just carrying her weight. It can be a flex card, but obviously very good in the right circumstance. All right, so we have a Jotunheim, left side, a Quarry, Lad, and Surfer. Gotta love Washington, D.C. Definitely going to snap into that because we've got a Patriot deck, and he probably doesn't. All right, he goes Zabu, and this is where things look good for us, right? We're going to go Brood mid. Then we've got potentially Absorbing Man we would play on Jotunheim. But even if we don't, we've got Negasonic, which we definitely have priority. And we can start really cooking here, making it tough for this guy to win. Okay. He goes Darkhawk. He's obviously depending on winning this lane. We can go Lad now. If Lad is Absorbing Man, I suppose it's a little awkward, but let's go ahead and play him now. Him with Sinister's fine. Him with Shaw is really good. Forge is fine because we can just play that into Iron Man. He does have Shadow King. That's terrifying. And we got Sebastian Shaw because he played the Korg. So I think what we do is we go Shaw. Here. Then do we give this lane up? He's obviously going to hit us with... I mean, if we get priority, we can probably win this still. Black Bolt gets rid of Surfer. That's a bummer. We got the Shaw, though. Makes it tough for him. And then we have now Prio, which means we can go... Well... This is what? 4, 6, goes down to 4. He goes down to 3. Right? Am I reading that right? And then we kill anything that he plays there. Or at least his next card that he plays there. Mid is probably locked. He has Shadow King that he's probably going to hit right side with. Unless Shadow King's played left. Yo. Let's go. We just read him like a book there. That was a little scary because of the way he got rid of the... I haven't seen a Black Bolt played in a minute. A little scary, but hey, we got the win. Interesting starting hand to get us rolling. We always don't mind Danger Room anytime we have the Brood. So we'll get him in the mid, Forge mid, and hopefully we can top deck really anything. Shaw's good, Brood's good. We can Nakia both that. We've got the Brood. We're going to snap. Brood here is tempting. Pretty damn tempting, but I think we've got to go with the Muir Island Brood. So Lad could be a few things. If Lad is... Honestly, Lad's got great value. If it dies and it's not Sinister or Absorbing Man, bummer. It's Shaw and he lives. Good stuff. He Shadow King'd early, but really good Shadow King there. Brutal Shadow King, actually. And he's going to just play another Shadow King, so we got to be on the lookout for that. But Iron Man kind of solves that issue. So we should be okay with that. Yeah, I think we go Iron Man here. Let me think. Because this makes it very tough on him for New York, too. Like, where do I move?
I am Iron Man.
Yeah, he's... I mean, we're looking great, right? He can play there. That's fine. We've got Prio, though. So we're looking hot. He can move stuff. Let's go Negasonic into... one of those moving over. Into Shaw. You could even move him over. Shaw builds up. Yeah, I think this is the play. I'd be shocked if he stayed, though. So it was close because of the Miss Marvel left side, but ultimately it didn't matter. We had Shaw building us up, helping us out. The Iron Man really made things a lot easier too, and we take down a Miss Marvel deck. All right, so we got Muir Island first location. We have Absorbing Man, Shaw in hand, Nakia in hand, so not a terrible starting hand. We could go Nakia into Absorbing Man, which is kind of fun. Really bad opening draw. We don't get a Korya curve. We don't have Sinister. And we're playing a high Evo deck. Ooh, and Sanctum. My God, we're gonna have to just win out these two locations. This could kind of be a little bit on the tough side. Let's go Nakia left side. We're gonna have to go like Iron Man. Oh my God. So he's probably gonna leech us too. We got our work cut out for us, guys. Let's play Nakia down. I was going to play Absorbing Man, but I don't know if we have the luxury. Like, Lad can have a lot of value here. I suppose we can play Lad. I kind of want to play Nakia again, though. Let's go double Nakia, yeah? Okay, he's going armor. Okay, so Shaw's looking good. This could be Leech. We're a little scared about it, and he has Prio, so we can't Negasonic here. So let's act like he's about to ruin our life. Now, this is already juiced up. We have a lot of power just in case he does mess with us. I like the Negasonic here. It can ruin him a lot. But we can just Iron Man mid here, too. Iron Man, obviously, getting Leash would lose everything. No, he goes She-Hulk.
I am Iron Man.
Now, he keeps Prio. Keep that in mind. And there's another turn. So, we have a lot to keep up with. Let's go ahead and snap here. Yeah, let's go ahead and snap. We're going to play Shaw into Negasonic. And if we top take Brood, I guess it's a little bit of a bummer, but we should be okay. So yeah, here we go. We got Shaw over there. Negasonic protects us from anything else that he could play with the Hulk. And we're looking pretty good. Now, I think we go... something like this. Should be good. I don't even know if we need this much power, but we don't want him to be able to spice it up. Because then if we get Surfer, we get Shaw even bigger. He's just going to go full float. Yeah, this is an easy one here. I got the Negasonic, man. This is why I flexed her. And she's obviously a flex card. You don't have to play her. But it just, you know, she wins a lot of games. You get Prior, you're looking pretty good most of the time. And then he floats like a little bit. There we go. High Evo deck. Got 4 cubes off it. Hey, we got the Lost Avenger, Justiceman. My favorite hero, never made it. All right. Turn 1 can't do anything. Okoye on curve. Definitely what we're going to roll with. He's got a Cosmo Avatar. So he plays some hip. Let's go Okoye left side and potentially Nakia next turn. Let's see what we get. If we get Shaw or Absorbing Man, both of those, we can Nakia. I would assume Nakia is going to be the card a lot of people flex out of the deck, which is fine. We have Nowhere. Makes it a bit tougher, but that's fine. Let's go Nakia, Brood, Absorb. Nowhere makes things a little bit... makes things a little awkward. Let's go Nakia mid. Yeah, I have a feeling we're playing a Surfer deck anyway, so he's going to have the same issues we do. But we have Iron Man. That's our saving grace. All right, so we could do it again. We could Brood now. Lad could be a lot of good cards, so I don't hate that. And then we could figure out what we want to do later. We're going to go ahead and snap because he's in the same predicament we are. I like that we've got Negasonic, Shaw, Patriot, and Iron Man. A little nervous if this hits Forge, but we should be okay. Is this Shaw? Okay. Negasonic, beautiful. We get another Negasonic, but we don't have Prio. We could Negasonic now and then play Sinister. Do we like this? I don't hate this. Let's do it. Oh, he goes Brood? Okay. We'll go Negasonic. We get to 11. So he has Prio, but we should be fine. He can't play there. He can't play there. Both those cards blow up. Either way, he decides to leave. But, yeah, I felt like we had that. He couldn't, like, anything he played was going to blow up. All right, so we got Forge and Shaw. Pretty good starting hand. Brood as well. So this is one of those hands, you know, I don't usually recommend playing down Forge. We could play him into Sinister, but because we have Shaw, there's no need to at the moment. We got Snow Guard. And bar with no name. Hello. All right. Let's get, we can play Forge now, then play Brood or Shaw. Interesting play line there. We could just go Sinister now. We're going to go to play Forge on this left side. And we got probably a Loki deck, which with Patriot and Surfer, we feel pretty good about it. You know, he can get our Iron Man, but we should be okay. Let's definitely play, probably Sebastian here, although this is kind of hot. Because then we can get the Brood up and Sebastian up. Yeah, let's go. We can go Nakia now. Build that up. Shaw here obviously gets this power, but then, like, where do we play the Brood? We could go Shaw over here instead and then play Brood here, Iron Man here, and then kind of just, like, give up middle. Not a bad idea. I don't hate that. Let's go Shaw left side. I know we're giving up this left, you know, the start tower, but I think it's okay. Let's go to play Brood right side now. And just that for the moment. We lost Sinister. That's okay. Like, I think this is fine. I think this should be enough. Like, this is decent because what are we adding? 6, and then it doubles it to 12. That's fine, I guess. This could be Negasonic. Does he have a way? Yeah, Snow Guard would turn this off temporarily, but it doesn't do all that much. I'm not too worried about this over here. I guess we could go... Yeah, let's just do this. And then if he thinks this is going to turn off with Snow Guard Hawk, it doesn't work that way. And we would end up winning. So we're going to see if this guy knows what he's doing. And he's out.
Victory.
So we beat the Loki deck, and we move on to the next one. All right, we got Titan first location. Obviously does, like, nothing for us at the moment. Negasonic starting hand. Not a great starting hand. Obviously, we have 3 cards we could have played on curve. Didn't grab them. And we've got the Zabu up first. Now, Eternity Range, we're okay with losing, right? Because we've got a Patriot deck, so no no problem there. And we've got some options to play here. I actually think we might want to Okoye now. And we can do so on Muir Island. It doesn't hurt to save Muir Island and just kind of pressure this Zabu left side. All right. He goes Dracula there, and the Lad has a great value. We could get Patriot, Brute, anything outside of Forge, and even Forge we can live with is going to be pretty sweet. We're going to snap into it. We've got the Lad. Hopefully we get the Brood here or Shaw. If we get one of those two, it's going to be pretty easy dubs. And then we can go Iron Man next turn, depending on how good this Lad is. We got Shaw, which is awesome. He's going Ghost Rider, Hellcow, Apocalypse.
I am reborn.
We're playing... Oh, hello, new voice line. We're playing a brand new discard deck. He gets rid of all of his great cards, so I can't imagine he's particularly pumped up for that. And now we can play both Shaw and this at the same time. We can go Iron Man now and then play... Actually, this might be a good idea. We play Iron Man now, and then we could play, like, Shaw and Surfer. He plays on Calling Wing, so we don't have to worry about right side. He's not even going to pressure us over there.
I am.
Left side, we really don't know what he's going to play. He could play like APOC, I guess. But obviously, he's lost a lot of his good cards. And here we go. Let's go ahead and win it out. We've got Shaw. Unfortunately, we can't do both of these. We don't want to do like this, right? This is 10, 12, 14 we add. If we do this, we'll do 3, 6, 9, and then we're adding 2, 4, 6, 15. Okay. He goes Black Knight by itself. Okay, that was quite the choice. We win by 2 over there.
I am Apocalypse.
Man, it's a shame to see what discard has come to. That used to be a very threatening voice line, but I mean, you guys just saw, like, you have to be so much more risky now. And of course, if you top deck Black Knight, which I do have a great discard deck coming, you can do some cool things with this, but this ain't it. So pour one out for discard. And there you go, guys. That is going to be it. You guys know Surfer, you know how it works. And again, after playing with it a lot, I don't know if Okoye and Nakia are going to stick with the deck, but I think Patriot and Shaw do have some room together because of Brood and Sinister and building these cards up with things like Forge and then Absorbing Man and Surfer. So, you know, this deck could improve over time, but my initial testing, it skyrocketed me in ranks and was really good on the first couple of tries. The Werewolf by Night and then also the other version, both solid decks, right? I would have done that video if I didn't just do a Surfer, so feel free to use those as well. And as always, guys, if you haven't already, subscribe down below. Good luck out there in the new season. And until the next one, happy snapping.